What exactly is Apple CarPlay and in what manner does it operate? Today, we will delve into the specifics of how this particular system functions, its origins, the reasons for its existence, and various other aspects. To begin with, this is closely connected to the necessity of having a system that enables you to utilize your smartphone within your vehicle. In this instance, CarPlay is designed specifically for iPhone users, but Android is not lagging far behind and offers its own system known as Android Auto. However, you might also ponder why this situation arises if, in reality, let's assume we examine this display here. This is going to vary depending on each specific model and the particular car you possess, but let's assume what you're observing right now is the vehicle's own system. Nevertheless, numerous car manufacturers, let's say, have not genuinely exerted effort to develop an autonomous system that grants access to everyday applications. So we don't have to, for instance, resort to using Google Maps or Waze instead of the factory-installed applications they provide. Instead, what they do is create systems like the one you're observing, which is a very basic and straightforward system that in this instance, in this vehicle, lacks a map application, lacks more advanced applications, and doesn't permit you to listen to music beyond being able to tune into the radio. For instance, if I tap here, observe, I can listen to the radio here, but it doesn't have anything beyond that to connect and listen to music on YouTube Music, Apple Music, or any application you might possess. That's precisely where Apple CarPlay enters the picture and states, well, in this scenario, iPhone, or rather Apple, declares, I'm going to develop a system that you can utilize within your vehicle. Essentially, to comprehend this straightforwardly, Apple CarPlay, which is what you observe here, serves as an extension of your smartphone. It's not an independent feature that the car itself possesses, like a separate screen you enter into. No, to access it, you must have an iPhone, and if you don't possess an iPhone, then you cannot access this Apple CarPlay functionality. Now, how do we gain access to it? Initially, we must verify with the car manufacturer that the vehicle is equipped with the CarPlay feature, indicating that it can be activated to establish a connection with the iPhone. In the second place, we clearly need to have an iPhone to connect, because if we have, for example, an Android, it wouldn't be CarPlay, but rather Android Auto, which we will also make a video about later on. Once you find yourself in possession of your iPhone and have thoroughly verified that your vehicle's system is indeed compatible with the Apple CarPlay feature, proceed to the Settings menu, then navigate to the section specifically designated for device connections. Upon arriving at that point, activate the Bluetooth option and connect another device. In this particular case, the device I am currently holding is the one we have successfully connected here. If it doesn't permit you, simply return to the main menu, revisit the Connected Devices section, and select the option labeled Phone Projection. As I mentioned earlier, what we are doing here is not that it has an independent system like an iPad or something similar, but we are essentially duplicating the information from our iPhone to our car. That's essentially it. Here, you add a new device and connect your device, but in this instance, I won't, because I already have one connected. Once you have it, search for the option within your car's settings called Apple CarPlay. Once you have it, tap on it and you'll witness the entire screen transform. This is not part of the car itself. As I mentioned, this is a system managed and created by Apple. Now we have Apple CarPlay open. As you can see, the applications here are simply the same applications we have on our phone. So if you have WhatsApp here, it will appear here. If you don't have it installed, it won't appear. Now, the other significant aspect is that not every single application is compatible with Apple CarPlay, so it is essential to verify the application you intend to utilize to ensure it can be installed and displayed here. In this particular scenario, as you can observe, the phone application, Apple Maps application is activated, the Messages application, which is already integrated into the car itself. So to configure car settings, calendar, Google Maps, which are already independent applications from both the car and Apple, also Telegram, Waze, WhatsApp, YouTube Music, and this is also connected with all the music services like Amazon Music, Apple Music, and YouTube Music, as you can see here. And as I mentioned, this is an extension. So what occurs? For example, if I discover myself in that particular scenario and decide against interacting with anything on the display, I'll access the iPhone right here. I'll search for the Waze application and observe that I'm not interacting with the vehicle's screen. We'll proceed to open Waze, and here I'll search for a destination I wish to navigate to within Waze. Then I'll tap it and proceed to tap View Routes, and a restricted area notification appears, but that's something specific to my city. I'll tap Close here and notice that automatically this icon appears in the car to follow the movements. So I just tap here, and what occurs when I open Waze is that the map that would typically appear on the phone now appears here. I can directly navigate to my desired destination, configure it, enable Waze's audio alerts for traffic, and more. I can alter the route and more. As you can see, it's an extension, but there's a crucial point. If I lock the phone, it will obviously lock and the screen will turn off. but Apple CarPlay will continue to function. What does this signify? Certainly, this connection remains continuously active, and you can distinctly observe the icon here indicating that it's utilizing my location, which results in battery consumption. Even if you leave it stored somewhere, your phone's battery will still be utilized. Therefore, it shouldn't be surprising if your phone continues to discharge when you leave it locked while using your car's screen for an extended period. As I mentioned, it's a projection. What you see on your phone's screen will appear here. Additionally, you can return to the home screen and use other features. For instance, you can access YouTube Music to play music. Just tap it and it will begin loading. Everything that appears here operates at the speed of your phone. As I said, we're always using your phone, so there's no Wi-Fi or anything similar. We're using the network available on your phone, whether it's Wi-Fi or a mobile network. Essentially, if we have 5G, 4G, the speed on your phone is the same speed. It will load here. Once you're here, you can choose music, select any song, play it, and we'll lower the volume here. It will start playing, and look, the song we're playing appears automatically on the phone. You can see that what I'm saying is true. What we see on the iPhone is the same as what we'll see there. If you don't want to interact much with the car's screen because it's too far, too small, or too large, or for any reason, you can interact with your phone to play things here, and they will automatically transfer. Now, a common question many might have is, can I access YouTube, Netflix, or any movie application? Regrettably, we won't be able to achieve that. Why is this the situation? Because Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, by default, are not specifically designed for any particular system. Both platforms emphasize safety while driving, ensuring that you don't need to watch movies or series while you're behind the wheel. Consequently, you won't be able to play movies or similar content on Apple CarPlay. This is why many individuals opt to use external screens or devices to install these functions, allowing them to watch movies, series, and whatever they desire on Netflix, Prime Video, HBO, or their preferred platform. However, from the factory, almost no manufacturer permits this unless it's a very specific car, so you'll need to verify that yourself. The remainder of what we do is to avoid touching the steering wheel, the screen, or the phone. Instead, we utilize the voice assistant, whether it's Google or, in this demonstration, Siri with CarPlay. You can employ Siri for various tasks, either by calling it with your voice or directly if your car has a voice button to activate it, like the one over here. So what I can do is press the voice button, tap it here, and it automatically activates. I can cancel it in the same manner, but I can also give it another tap, say play music, and it automatically plays music. But since we have the volume low, it won't be audible. Essentially, you can do that or instruct it to open Google Maps. Let's do it. Open Google Maps and observe. It opens automatically. You're seeing it censored right now because it's displaying my address, so we censored it there, but it essentially opened Google Maps. We can also utilize the calling or WhatsApp option, which functions similarly for both. For instance, let's instruct it to send a message via WhatsApp. So we'll activate it, send a message via WhatsApp to my love, hello, send. Well, essentially we hit send and the message is automatically dispatched. You just need to grant many permissions because each app will require permissions. But essentially here we return to the home screen, and this is how we have it configured. We can even access the settings of our Apple device. Here you can see if you wanted to announce messages, the appearance, if you want it to be automatic, white during the day but dark at night, or if you always want it to be dark, you activate it automatically and the entire system will be dark, and you can see it here. Or you can also set it back to automatic, return here, and change the wallpaper to be dark if you want a fixed color or one of the wallpapers that appear here. Additionally, the silent mode, accessibility, Siri, and here you can configure it at once to send automatic messages and grant all the permissions. In this case, we don't want to grant the permissions, so it might take a little longer to send messages and such, but if you grant all the permissions, it will send messages directly. That's how Apple CarPlay operates, and as you can see, each app has its own settings. Most of the time, when you need to do something lengthy like sending a message, what will happen, for example, in WhatsApp, is that it won't open WhatsApp with the interface we're accustomed to on iPhone or Android. Instead, it will open this here, which is to instruct Siri to send a new message, read messages, or something like that, or to call directly. The same applies to the phone app. You can enter here, and if you wish, you can call residents, contacts, or directly enter a number
this doesn't